This is the first lesson in our geometry unit, and today we're not going to be calculating areas or surface areas or volumes just yet. We're going to start with an introduction to quadrilaterals, okay, and we'll talk about what quadrilaterals are. So your goal for today is I can classify quadrilaterals based on their sides and their angles. Now remember, pause the video anytime today. This lesson is going to have a lot of vocabulary. Again, you won't quite need your calculator today, just a lot of vocabulary. So make sure you pause if you need to write it all down because it's all very important. Okay, so the first thing that we need to talk about is a plane figure. So a plane figure is a two-dimensional figure. That means that it's flat. So it doesn't raise up from the table in any way. It's 100% flat. A lot of you know what a 3D figure is. That's something that you're able to touch and hold, and you know it has a height to it. And so we will deal with 3D figures in a couple weeks, but for now we're going to work with a plane figure, which is a flat figure. All right, next you need to know what a polygon is. So a polygon is a closed plane figure. Again, a plane figure is a 2D figure. So it's a closed flat figure. And closed means that all of the sides end up connecting, okay? And it's something that also has straight sides. So we're not going to be talking about circles because circles have curved sides. We're only going to be talking about figures that are flat and that close each other so all the sides connect, and there are no curved edges. All right, so what is a quadrilateral? Well, a quadrilateral is a plane figure. Again, that means 2D or flat. And it has 4 sides and 4 angles. So in the last slide, you saw a triangle, and a triangle is a polygon, but we're going to talk about triangles next week. For now, we're just going to deal with quadrilaterals. So all of these shapes are examples of a quadrilateral. They all have 4 sides, and they all have 4 angles. And this here is a side, and this little point right here, this is an angle where the 2 sides meet. Okay, so let's talk about the different types of quadrilaterals that we're going to be discussing over the course of our geometry unit. So first we have a parallelogram. A parallelogram looks like this, and it can actually look a couple different ways. The main thing is that the opposite sides are equal and parallel, okay? So parallel lines are lines that can never intersect. They're identical to each other, okay? They're going in the same direction. So here you'll see these little markings, see these 2 sticks, and then here this is a 1 stick, and those are important symbols. This 1 stick right here tells you that the opposite side that also has 1 stick is equal and parallel. And the same thing here. These 2 sticks mean that this line matches with this line. So opposite sides that are equal and that are parallel to each other. Okay, let's talk about a rectangle. So a rectangle is a parallelogram because this side is equal to this side, opposite sides, and this side is also equal to this side. So it is a parallelogram. The difference between a parallelogram and a rectangle, though, is that a rectangle has 4 right angles. And we're going to talk more about angles later, but this square right here in the corner where these 2 sides meet, this tells you that it's a 90-degree angle, which is called a right angle, okay? Next, we have a rhombus. So a rhombus, again, it is a parallelogram. Opposite sides are equal and parallel. So this side matches this side, and this side matches this side. So you're starting to see that parallelogram is a very general term, and a lot of different shapes fall into the parallelogram category. So a rhombus is a parallelogram. The difference, though, is that all 4 sides are congruent. And again, these are our sticks that mean congruent. And congruent means that they're equal length, okay? So this side matches this side matches this side. But because it is a parallelogram, we also know that these lines are also parallel to each other. All right, let's look at a square. So again, a square is a parallelogram because The opposite sides match each other. This side is the same as this side, and this side is the same as this side. But the other thing about a square is that all four sides match each other, okay? And if we go back one slide, you'll notice that that has some characteristics of a rhombus. The difference, though, and why we can't call this a rhombus is because of these angles. Just like the rectangle, the square has 4 right angles. And again, you know if it's a right angle because of these little square marks here. It means that 2 sides meet each other, and those are not very straight lines, but perfectly. This one is going perfectly vertical, and this one is going perfectly horizontal, and they form a 90-degree angle. Okay, now for trapezoid, there are 2 different types of trapezoids, but there is also a general definition for trapezoids. So a trapezoid just has, by the way, it is not a parallelogram. It just has one pair of parallel lines, okay? One pair of parallel lines. And one type of trapezoid is called the right trapezoid. And the reason why it's called a right trapezoid is because right here and right here, it forms a right angle, a 90-degree angle, okay? But again, there's just one pair of parallel lines. See if you can figure out where the parallel lines are. Remember, those are lines that do not intersect each other ever. So it would be right here, and it would be right here. And then the other type of trapezoid is called an isolated trapezoid. And that is because it has one pair of parallel lines, which is true about the other one, but it also has one pair of equal sides. So this line right here and this line right here, they are parallel. If they went on and on forever, they would never intersect, which is true about the other one. But in this case, this line right here and this side right here, they are equal to each other. They are congruent to each other, okay? Which means that they're the same exact size, length, same characteristics. All right, that is the end of this lesson. Again, it was pretty quick, just a little crash course to quadrilaterals, but it was a lot of vocabulary. And so one of the things we're going to do if we have time is make some flashcards too, because it's going to show up on your quiz. But we're going to go ahead and move on to area of quadrilaterals in the next lesson. So you want to make sure that you have a full understanding of the vocabulary in this lesson. Don't forget to ask me questions in class if you have them.